Hi, folks. Welcome back to the No Pro Football Show. Also, with She Talks Football. Yeah, we're doing another show with the both of our podcasts. Welcome, Regina.
My name is Gina, and thank you very much. Yeah, we are rocking this crossover No Pro Football Show and She Talks Football podcast. Cause what? We like to get together and talk it on through with our other special guests that are on here tonight.
Pleasure.
Y'all know what this is, man. This is your boy Germ, scene representative in the building. We just gave away a free trip. Ironically, your boy Jake received a free trip from the scene to Vegas. Listen, man, we sending people to Vegas out here, man. Scene
Wow.
game. This scene game is different.
Are you
This
serious?
is the new. Yes, this is yes. Y'all like Friday? Yes. This is different over here. What we doing? So with that being said, man, I'm always down to be on the No Pro Football Show. This is my first time with She Talk Football, so I'm here for this. Like I'm here for the whole thing. But my shirt say "Wreck everyone and leave." Y'all know I come to talk. At the end of the day, man, let's do this thing, man.
Dude, this
And
is not your first time with me though, bro.
I know. I'm just saying on your show, like She Talk Football. This the first time on there. Like I gotta represent.
All right, Jay.
I'm Jay. You can follow me on Instagram,
About
Twitter
telling you
at,
TikTok, huh?
at JPaul65.
All
Not
right, folks.
TikTok.
Let's start this first quarter. Get right into the scores. It was. You know what? This was a good football week. It was some good games this week. Packers beat the Cardinals 24-21. Was anybody shocked by that? I wasn't.
The ending was
I'm annoyed by it.
ridiculous.
Well, I was expecting the Cardinals to win that. I didn't expect the Green Bay Packers defense to show up like they did.
I mean, was it really the defense, or was it just they just exposed a few things about the Cardinals?
I did not
Nothing was
expect that defense
exposed.
to show up like they did.
Nothing was exposed. I just watched AJ Green watch the ball go to somebody else.
Wow, that was incredible.
Exactly.
That was different. That's the
I
word I'm
mean,
going to
I'm
use.
looking like
He was like, "Oh, me." So,
I
like,
mean,
They,
obviously he did not know what play was coming. Like clearly he thought all he was supposed to be doing is blocking his man. So
oh, did
where was the
anybody
breakdown
hear?
in communication?
Did anybody hear an explanation though? Like, did he say, I thought it was a running play,
I
anything
haven't heard
like that?
anything. I haven't heard anything.
I'm
I
gonna tell you
didn't
what I
either.
Mm-mm.
saw. I saw somebody one day. I saw somebody that wanted to play wrestling and not play football.
All right, Panthers beat the Falcons 19-13. Again, that wasn't. I did take the Falcons, but that definitely was not unexpected.
Oh, didn't pick the Falcons, and they have not been doing half bad without CMC, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll give him some credit. David, well, I think one of the biggest differences this game is that he was actually running the ball today instead of trying to be a pocket passer. I mean, that game instead of trying to be a pocket passer. I think that helped them a lot. Um, Titans beat the Colts 34-31. Colts should have won that game. Colts definitely
Yeah,
should have won that
he
game.
did some craziness in that game. I don't know what Carson Wentz was doing.
He's big constant win.
Um, yeah, that it was just
Right.
All
Especially
right,
that pick six.
Bills
yeah,
beat the. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
all I can say is that interception he threw in the end zone. What? 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 Are you drunk,
So
high, or
this
stupid?
is what I think happened, and I'm basically making this up, but this is what I think happened.
Oh, you about to make something up? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because
I'm here for
so when
this.
he was getting bum rushed, I think what he was trying to do was not to get a safety, and he thought he saw one of his people there that he could throw it to, which it was, but he just never reacted to the ball. But the Colts defense did, so that's basically what happened.
So you throw it at his feet, not in
Well,
the
I mean,
air.
we are talking about Carson Wentz, though, so you know,
He's smarter than that.
I hope so. I bet he won't ever do it again, though.
Mm.
Then again, I'm not even gonna say that. Bills beat the Dolphins 26-11. I thought that game was going to be a little bit closer than that, mainly because it's a division game. But in the first half, that game was tight. That game was tight. And then the second half, I'm not sure what happened to Miami's defense.
The Bills came to play something.
So I'm drinking Simply Orange, right? And it was just simply a loss. That's what we're gonna call that. I don't understand why. Like the Dolphins, the Dolphins are just the Dolphins this year. Tua Tagovailoa, it just that he ain't worth two dead flies if you mash them together, and it's just what it is as a quarterback right now. He has to improve. The team is built around him. At Alabama, you can just throw the ball 5 yards and get 80. And then make a couple big throws occasionally. This is the big boy league. You got to make big boy throws. He's not making them consistently, and we get simply losses.
So just to get a consistency, is he going to be there next? Is he going to be their quarterback next year?
You know what's funny? He has to be the quarterback next year for 2 reasons. He's a first-round pick, and he's a top 5 pick. And number 2, who are they going to get? These quarterbacks out of this next class, what are they?
I mean, I know you guys have heard about the fact that allegedly Deshaun is supposed to be going there, although I've never fed into that hype. But
see, I'm drinking Simply again.
Well, they just said today that he wasn't.
I'm drinking Simply, and it's simply a rumor. Because until it happened, I ain't going no further than Simply.
Agreed.
Sponsored by Simply. We just got to be honest. Like until it happened, I'm not saying anything.
Y'all need to give that man a contract. Simply.
They might give that man write that man his freedom papers.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. Jets beat the Bengals 34-31.
Yeah,
that was a shocker.
Wait, let's stop right there.
That was a shocker.
Wait, hey, the Ravens roll back into first place on their day off. On your day off, you're back in first place.
Hey, quick question. What happened to the Ravens the week before?
The Ravens got spanked by the Bengals. That's what happened the week before. That's what happened. They got spanked? We got spanked. We ain't just like lost.
All right.
We got spanked. Doesn't make any difference. We're back in first place on our day off.
Jeremy.
That doesn't change anything.
Jeremy, it was simply a loss.
Thank you.
That young guy, White.
405 yards.
That dude played it. I don't know if he will continue that. Obviously, nobody was scouting him or looking to see what he could do or anything because they weren't expecting him to be in the game. But man, did he play a good game! I'm really interested to see what he does on the next. They already said he was the starter Thursday. So
bottom line, the Bengals came in and beat our tails in our own stadium.
Violate you on your own soil.
Violators, they did. You was using our trust, big trust, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why teams do that because you always come to your demise when teams listen to me. Leave the big trust phrase alone. I'm trying to tell you, it never works out for you when you do that. Every time these teams take out big trust thing, they wind up losing. I am not lying. Go back and check the record. So as soon as I saw that dude, he was a bench warmer. He wasn't even a starter. As soon as I saw that clip where he was like, big trust, great trust, whatever, I was like, you done messed up now, shorty. And you going to come back a week later after all that bragging, after the Bengals, whoever does their Twitter account, had out there, do we have your attention now? In all caps, multiple exclamation points and all that. Everybody bragging. I'm like, okay, because we are division rivals. We have to see each other 2 times in the season. Don't think it's going to be that next time. But again, after all of that, you're going to come back and get beat by the team who only had 1 win up until this point in time. 34, what was it, 34-31? Okay, all right. Just it is what it is. Just wanted to point that out. And we're back in first place on our day off. That's all I'm saying.
Well, simply penalties, because that last one was terrible.
So they simply played and simply lost. It don't change nothing now.
Yeah, the Bengals definitely got some really bad calls in that game. I have to admit that.
I just think
a couple of really bad calls.
It's simply penalties because that hit, like, how do you expect a person to change their center of gravity and for helmets to not collide? I can't drop my center of gravity down 3-4 inches and then expect for a hit that's supposed to go through my body to still not hit my helmet. That doesn't make sense. You're taking the human element out of the game again. And most of these refs have never played football. So if they've never played football, they don't understand the slight reaction of a player to try to protect himself to get in that little ball is going to cause those type of things. So I'm just saying, sponsored by Simply penalties today is going to be the theme for that loss.
Steelers beat the Browns 15-10.
Simply ass whoopings. Sponsored again by Simply.
And it's not like I'm going around rooting for the Steelers, but in that particular game, I was like, yeah, I really want the Steelers to win because the Browns were closer to us in terms of the record. So it benefited the Ravens more for the Steelers to win that game. So yeah.
Steel City football, does that mean you're off the schneid now? You're going to be on the road?
I hope so. I mean, we're coming back. I never lost faith in us anyway. So I always felt like the Bears.
All right, we'll see then.
Monday night.
Yeah, that's going to be a different one. Eagles beat the Lions 44-6.
What had happened?
The Lions
demolished the Lions.
Simply didn't show.
Right. They should have stayed home.
In their lair. They stayed in their lair
Hope
that
free.
day.
Hope
they
free.
Did.
Right.
Yeah, they need help. They don't need Simply. They need milk.
But I mean, they have not looked that bad in all these other games. Like they've been playing these teams, like they've been losing, but they've been playing hard. Like I don't even understand what happened in that game.
I do.
Like you said, they didn't show up.
They simply got that ass spanked.
But the Eagles have been playing hard too. The Eagles have been playing really hard. I feel like Jalen Hurts has been getting disrespected, and I don't appreciate it. I think that dude is, in my opinion, he's a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody say. I think he's a good quarterback. I think his O-line is trash. Defense cannot defend most of the time, and it's been and let's not get into the play calling. That has been horrible. So I just think Jalen Hurts is in a hurtful situation, honestly. So, but they have been playing very hard. So I was actually happy for him.
Well, I'll go just by what their coach basically said the game before that. They're losing games, but he could see the growth and improvement. He could see that it's coming. So, and they came that day.
I mean, does he see growth and improvement in his play calling though?
Well, I mean,
he never was
a good they got to go together.
With. I mean, how much growth are you expecting when you call that many run plays and that many pass plays? How much growth are you expecting?
We'll see though. I don't even remember who they play next week.
Hey, hold your bottle up one more time.
What?
Hold your bottle up one more time.
Oh, wait a minute. It's blending in with the background.
Okay. The core of the problems with the Eagles is they don't run the ball. It's really that simple. Like, sponsored by Core.
I'm looking for my sponsorship, Core. I'm looking for it.
Hydration, because Eagles fans been thirsty.
What is on it? What did you take today, Germ?
We're going to get that. Rams beat the Texans 38-22.
First of all, can I just say something real quick? Rob, I don't understand how you gave 22 points away in 8 minutes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right.
How you do that? Like, how did you do that? How did you do? Like, did you just say, "Hey, get 22 right now"?
What they said was, "We have the game won. We're finished."
Okay,
that's what they said. 49ers beat the Bears 33-22.
That was a good game.
I can't figure the 49ers out at all. Besides the injuries. One day they're good, the next day they're not. Like, come on, y'all, get some type of consistency.
You
going.
Still believe in Jimmy G?
He actually played a good game that game.
And that's the whole shebang. Sponsored by the whole shebang.
I can't take him.
We don't know what the 49ers or the Bears are. That's the whole shebang. Like,
okay, let me find some more products. Can I add Visa y'all to do something better or something? I gotta find something else.
Hey, look, man. Look, I'm just naturally. This is what I do.
Patriots beat the Chargers 27-24.
Wait a minute. Are the Chargers
that's a
in trouble?
great game. No, it's not.
Oh, that was a really good game.
Right, but are the Chargers in
No,
trouble?
I don't think the Chargers are in trouble. I think the Patriots are actually getting better.
And I agree with that. But the Chargers started off kind of on top, and ever since we broke them, they've been sliding ever since then. Time out.
That's a technical foul. Nobody broke them. They just play. You know how you got those stretches throughout a long season where you just don't play well? A lot of teams go through them. I just think that this is
right, but we're getting to the core of the season, y'all. Like, you need to make these wins in this core part of the season.
See, that was pretty good, by the way. I gotta be honest with you. The thing about it is we gotta look at the season and break it down into 4 parts, right?
Right.
You got your first quarter of the season. Mm-hmm. You got your second quarter of the season that kind of extends into the next third quarter of the season, and then you have the third quarter of the season, which is the end of it. The fourth quarter is really the last week of the regular season and goes into the playoffs. So the fourth quarter of the season is when you want to be playing your best football. So you want to be playing at your maximum potential in the third quarter going to the fourth. Right. And that's what you want. The problem is a lot of teams in every sport, they peak too early. So when you peak at the damn second quarter, you burn out your gas and you find yourself winning all these games. It's like Buffalo. I'm going to let y'all know right now. I'm going to tell everybody in the world right now. I'm going to say it right now on the show. Buffalo is a team that's going to peak. And it's in the second quarter, into the third quarter. They're going to look real good going into the fourth quarter, and then they're going to get their ass spanked. They're going to get their ass spanked in the playoffs by somebody, and it's going to be real disrespectful. And everybody go, what happened to the Bills? It was Josh Allen. No, they peaked too early. The Titans peaked too early. Stop it. And then they just lost King Henry.
Wait, how did they peak early? The Titans started off losing games. That whole 2 times 11 = 22 trio wasn't even working out.
But they lost 2 games. Though. Huh? But they lost 2 games. We're talking about losing 2 games. They've just beaten. They only lost to Pittsburgh. Who did the Titans lose to? To be realistic this year.
We ain't playing the Titans yet.
I'm thinking of the Bills. I had to.
Let me pull it up.
They lost that. They were
struggling. They were struggling this season.
They beat the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Colts in a row. So,
they drum
okay,
roll.
Well, I
take
folks. That back then.
Hey, look, they put them folks over their knee, old school style, and they spanked their ass.
But now, no Derrick Henry.
That's a doggone shame.
I'm just shouts out to him. He's gotten better over the years. He's extremely gifted. I just hate to see him go down.
I hate to see him go down, but I also feel like that even if he didn't go down, he was going to be dead leg by the end of the season as much as he was running the ball.
Well, why? Because he ran for 2,000 last season, so why can't he do it again this season?
It's the amount of carries that I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, right. Because he
already had 200 carries.
We're talking about a situation where Gina, he had like 340 carries last year.
Right.
Like you know he's on pace to have like 450, 475 touches.
Yeah.
That's too many.
Too many. That's like 100 too many.
That's what. Where's the rest of your offense? You traded for Julio Jones too many.
I think they lost to the Jets. So they lost to the Cardinals. Then they played the Seahawks and won. Then they played the Colts and won. Then they lost to the Jets. That's probably what I'm remembering. Yeah, then they beat the Jaguars, they beat the Bills, and they beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Colts. Okay. I think that Jets loss is probably stuck out in my brain.
It should stick out because I don't understand how you lose to – listen, at the end of the day, when you lose to the Jets, you get jet lag. It just is what it is, you know?
So what is that, y'all? The Jets beat the Titans, the Jets beat the Bengals. That's very interesting.
And it just shows you the turmoil that teams are in. The Jets are still good.
I told you at the beginning of the season, the Jets going to beat a few good teams this year.
Right.
I knew they were. Seahawks beat the Jaguars 31-7.
And they should have.
I was a little bit this much impressed with the Seahawks offense that week.
I agree. He definitely. I think Gino played better. I think the play calling was better.
More props.
Huh?
That was a pure ass whooping. Sponsored by Pure.
Oh my gosh.
Beat the Bucks 36-27
Woo!
with backup quarterback.
Woo!
With a backup quarterback.
These backup quarterbacks came to play this week. They came
made
to play.
Brady turn the ball over. That defense played pretty good. They played pretty good.
That was a good game. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, that was a good game. What say ye, Jerm? Go ahead. I hear it. I feel it.
That horse collar play for Jameis, I called it in the first quarter. I said, Jameis going to end up getting hurt with all this running that he doing.
I think we all had that same feeling.
Yeah.
You're just doing too much. Like, if doing too much was a person, it was Jameis on Sunday. Stop running so much, bro. Then
I didn't think he ran too much. I didn't think it was too much.
It was entirely too much. When he got the first down,
For him.
Get
Emphasize
down.
for him.
See, when I say run too much, we're talking about running to be influential to the game. Once you get a first down, get out of bounds or get your ass down. It's really simple. Jameis wants to try to act like he's a running back. So then Jameis gets hurt, and now we sitting here, oh, that was a horse collar tackle. No, it wasn't. He grabbed a man by the side, and when Jameis trying to still be a running back, that's when we get a turn. Because Jameis isn't that type of quarterback. He ain't never been that type of quarterback. And then lastly, we got a face mask call when Trey Simeon threw that interception in the back of the end zone. That was never called, but you called roughing the passer on a quarterback? What? Come on, man. We got to stop. Hey, man, listen, if we going to talk about this, simply need better officiating, period. It's been terrible.
Refs are, bro.
That's every season, though. It's every season. The lack of consistency is the issue. If you're going to call it, call it. If you're not, you're not. Don't call it sometimes and don't call it other times. And I don't know.
Yeah, but it's been some big ones missed, though. That's the thing. It's been some big calls missed.
But they're standing right there, though. You literally see them standing right there watching it. Right. And it's like, you were standing right there. You saw that, and you did not call it. Why?
But they actually starting to look unsure, though, about things. Like, I don't know if they're afraid of getting second guessed, by the person in New York looking at the replays or whatever. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's definitely getting weird now. Broncos beat the Washington football team 17-10. That was a pretty good game too.
They tried to give that game away.
Are you guys not surprised about the Von Miller trade?
We're gonna get to that. Wait a minute. We're gonna get to it. Cowboys beat the Vikings 20-16 with a backup quarterback.
Look at him smiling. Look at his smile, y'all. Oh my gosh, sickening.
Of course I am. And lastly, the Chiefs beat the Giants 20-7.
Just barely.
They struggled in that game.
20-17.
My opinion is that the Giants do not have a good defense. They got a decent defense, but they don't have a good defense. And I don't know, the Chiefs' offense is just different now. It's definitely different. Most definitely different. That's all I can say about that. Do I still think they can come back? Yes, I do. But I feel like it's going to be way more difficult now. Way more difficult. What is their record now?
4-4. They just made 500.
Yeah. Man. And they play the Packers next week. So
they can put up 40 on the Packers. That's the problem with the Chiefs. Any given Sunday, they can score 40.
Right. Exactly. Go ahead, she talks football.
I'm just going to wait and see on that Packers and Chiefs game. I am. I'm in the wait and see mode on the Chiefs. I know a lot of people out there like, no, they're going to come back. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And I know historically, it seems like, they should be able to do this. But historically, for the last 3 years, they have never been in this position of having to fight from the bottom. It wasn't even a question of them being in the playoffs. It wasn't even a question of them winning the division in these previous 3 years. And usually it wasn't even a question of them being the number one team in the AFC and getting a bye. I have not seen them since Mahomes has been on that team have to struggle and fight from the bottom to get into wild card position, much less win a division and all that. So everybody's like, no, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back. I'm in wait and see mode. It's possible. It really is possible. But I'm in wait and see mode. I'm just not gonna go ahead and give it to him. I'm not. You gotta show me something. I'm Missourian. I'm Missouri. You gotta show it to me this season because they are really struggling. Like even the games that they're winning, they're barely winning. Barely. Like that should make, to me, Kansas City Chief fans should be nervous. They really should be nervous. So
I'm gonna say this real quick.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Real quick. You know, half of his interceptions is off of his own players' hands, right?
Yep, I was going to mention that.
And I don't disagree with that, but then you also have the other half of the ones where he's trying to keep throwing these miracle plays where as he's getting sacked, he just tosses the ball because usually Kelsey catches it, but the defense are playing Kelsey differently. So Kelsey's not there because they're actually on Kelsey's tail. So then it's turning into an interception. So yes, I'm not discounting the ones that he's throwing the ball and they're missing it. But what about the other half of those where he's still trying to do these miracle plays that they are not working out this season? And so let's just stick with some solid football mechanics and throws and all that kind of stuff and leave the extra stuff alone because it's not working out well for you, baby. Not this season.
You're right to a degree. So what I see here is we got a lot of things here with the Chiefs that are wrong besides Pat Mahomes.
I agree.
And that's the thing that I would really gotta put my focus on. If we're not gonna catch the ball, that's one thing. That's one thing that goes against him. If we're gonna knock the ball up in the air and defenders are gonna catch it, that's another thing that's not going for him. Great quarterbacks are gonna have seasons where they get a lot of deflections and interceptions. It just happens all the time. It's part of the game. Because they're going to throw the ball. Gina, you know how many times they already thrown the ball? Like at least 270 times. Like in 270 times, and we're not even halfway through the season yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you throw the ball that many times, you're asking the football gods to give you interceptions. You're asking for it. It just doesn't make sense.
Wait, you made a good point. You talked about how he's throwing the ball to the receivers, but the receivers just aren't catching the balls, but he's throwing it to them, right? That's what we were saying, right?
Sometimes that's what it is.
Right, but so I want to know how come when one would bring up that same argument about Lamar, that all used to get discounted. When he would throw the ball straight to the receivers, and the receivers did not catch the ball, and so his completion percentage was not up to par. But we would jump up and say, but he's throwing the ball it's right in their hands, it's right in their chest, they're catching it. Nobody wanted to accept that. But because it's Pat Mahomes now, it's like, but he's throwing it, they're not catching it. I just want to point out, this is not for you personally, this is in general to the football world. I just want to point out the hypocrisy, because it's simply hypocrisy. That's all I wanted to point out.
They simply don't watch football. That's what we're gonna say. Okay. It's really that simple. Like I can't. If Lamar did something wrong, I'm gonna say he did something wrong. If he did something right, I'm gonna say he did something right. That throw he made in the Lions game, that was an interception. That was Lamar's fault. The throw he makes that tips off Hollywood's fingers, that's Hollywood's fault. I can't blame Lamar for everything that goes wrong, and I can't say that he's there for everything that goes right. There is a lot of things that happen in the course of a football game. Every player on the field means something to the outcome of the game. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to kill Lamar at this stage because Lamar has done some things that have been better than previous seasons. It just is what it is. Pat is getting the same thing that every great quarterback has had, and that is a rough patch in his career right now at this moment where you're having a lot of balls tipped up in the air and deflected, and defenders are in the right position. Because what is going on, you got your receivers who dropped the ball. The Bucks and the Chiefs last year were 2-3 to a number 1, 2, or 3 between those two teams in deflected passes, drop passes, all that stuff last year. And look at where they were in the Super Bowl. So all of that stuff.
I get what you're saying, but I get what she's saying too. Like if you're going to give pat that excuse to keep that same energy with Lamar is basically what she's saying. Moving on to the second quarter, though.
All right, we're going to move on to second quarter. So, second quarter, we're going to talk about flags on the play. So, this segment is just about different things that are happening on the field that I'm throwing the flag. I have an issue with it. I have a problem with it, and we need to discuss it. So the first up, we've already talked about this season. I'm going to keep on bringing it up. It came up in some games this past weekend. The taunting penalties. Come on, Saints members and friends. These referees throwing flags for these so-called taunting penalties. I am just still beside myself with these things. Why in the world? What is wrong, Goodell? Why was this the focus? These are grown men playing a violent sport, and they're going to get a flag because they jump up and throw their hand because they got the first down. Or I turn when I get the contested ball, I turn around and say something to you like, but I got that though, or whatever it is that they're saying. I'm sure they're cussing them out and saying much worse. But the point is, I'm not touching you. I didn't push you. I didn't stab you. I didn't try to break your leg. I'm just talking trash and doing signals. And you're gonna throw a flag. And what is it? Is it 15 yards? And then if you get 2 in the game, you get ejected? Come on, man. Like they say on Monday Night Football. I am reeling from these taunting penalties, and I saw a few thrown this past weekend in the games this past weekend, and it still pisses me off. So flag on the play on these taunting calls. But what do you guys think about it?
Go ahead, sir.
He got his whistle.
Listen, let me make sure. I'm doing a flag on officiating this year. I'm sick of all of it. I don't get how we can sit here and we talk, and this is one of the things. Taunting people on a play has zero to do with the integrity of the game. Guess what? Trash talk has been part of football since we can remember. Trash talk is a part of sports. You know how many dudes we be on the court playing basketball? He'd be like, "I'm busting your ass, Jake ass dude. I'm busting," and that ain't what we saying. We saying other words. But we just being honest. When you on the court or you on the field and you busting somebody ass, that's just what you do. You talking. And you talking because they're off of their game. That's what you talk for. You're talking to get a psychological advantage.
Right.
So you don't want the players to talk. You want them to just get up and hand the ball to the officials
right.
to show humility to the game. Let me tell you what's not humility to the game. Making people stand up for an anthem. That's not humility to the game. That's not anything predicated about the game. It has nothing to do with the game at all. At all. But we sit up here and we want to talk about somebody just having fun, talking trash. Like, come on, bro. Flag
on a play.
Well, first of all, this is what I see. I see a few things about it. Number one, I agree with both of you. It's stupid. It should not be a rule in the game of football. At all. Like you
right.
running 20 miles an hour to hit somebody with the impact of a car crash, and then I can't get up and say something to you. Come on now. Like that's if I burnt you, if you don't want me to taunt you, stop me. Stop me from scoring, stop me from hitting you, stop whatever it is, stop me from getting the first down, stop me from doing whatever if you don't want me to taunt you. That should just be a basic part of the game. But on the flip side, if the players know that is a rule that they have, however stupid it may be, you can't do it because you're costing your team.
Yeah, that's but at the same time, it's easy to say you can't do it when you're in the moment of the game. You ain't thinking about that. You ain't thinking about, I'm going to get a flag if I do that. In the midst of the game, you like, oh, yeah, I did this to you. Oh, yeah, I did that. Like, everybody going to be like, oh, wait, I'm going to get a flag. Let me not do that. That's right. Like, it's hard to taking away, since it's something they've been doing for a long time now. Like
you're taking away the human element again. You're taking away human elements and you're asking people to be robots. Guess what? We didn't sign up to see robots play the game. Right. We signed up to see humans. So if you're going to tell humans to not be human, then you can go jump off the next bridge that you see available. Period. Stop dehumanizing people and then thinking that it's acceptable in anything that we do, professional sports in life or anything. This is a public service announcement. Stop dehumanizing people and then thinking that it's acceptable. Grow up, move to the side, remove your emotions, and let these people do what they do. That's what the emotions of the game is, why we watch. It's just like a soap opera for men. Why we like football is because we like to see a tight game going from quarter to quarter where each throw, each run matters. Period. So
and
you
women.
damn straight, I'm sorry, Gina, and women. So you damn straight, I want to see Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, all these different players get up and point this way after they get a first down, after they made a good play. I want to see that because that shows me that they're engaged. They want to be there. They want to win this game.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's how a lot of people measure whether a player is engaged or not, from taunting and all this and the celebrations and the stuff that they do. You know, they're into the game. Like, yeah, they want this. It shows, sometimes it even shows how hungry they are, really.
And then the problem is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The problem is lack of consistency. If you're going to call it, call it. If you're not going to call it, don't call it. But don't call it sometimes, and then you do call it sometimes. That is definitely a big problem for me. If just call it all taunting or don't call any of it. But this back and forth trying to figure, well, I'm going to call it here, but we're not going to call it there, but then we're going to call it. That lack of consistency is a big issue for me for the NFL refs. So I'm mad that it is something that you actually came out before the season and said, hey, we're going to be paying special attention to taunting and throwing these flags and penalizing your team 15 yards and then ejecting you if you have two. But we're still not going to be consistent, just like we can't be consistent about defining what is a catch and all these other things. Like, go somewhere. So that is this. We need to throw the yellow flag, the red flag, the blue flag, every flag they got in their pockets. We need to throw on that taunting thing. Like, I hope this was just an experiment and they're going to do away with this for next season because it's crazy. So you got one more?
I was getting ready to say something so messed up that was going to get us in trouble. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and move on.
Yeah, don't get us in trouble. Don't get us in trouble. So we're halfway through the season now.
I got one more flag on the plate.
Go ahead.
Real quickly, late hits is my other issue this week. Not calling late hits against these QBs, particularly QBs that are mobile, and particularly QBs who are not your typical pocket players, particularly QBs who may have some rich tones to their color. I'm still noticing that some of the football players are not getting the calls for late hits, and I've seen it even this weekend. Multiple clearly late hits on players. It happened to Jameis Winston in the game. It happened to I think they called one in Kyler, but then the other one they did not call. We know there's been a problem with Lamar. Like, I don't understand why you want to call some late hits and other quarterbacks. You know, if you as much as look at them good, you only have to touch them. You just look at them good and the flag is coming out your pocket and you're helping that quarterback off the ground. And some of these other QBs are just getting sandblasted, especially some of our black QBs, especially some of these younger QBs, especially some of these mobile QBs. And it's not being consistently called. And the refs, you literally see them standing right there looking at it, and they just act like they didn't see anything. So late hits, that's still a big problem for me. Flag on the play.
That was purely about Lamar Jackson, for real.
No, it wasn't. It absolutely was not. It was not
purely about Lamar Jackson.
It wasn't at all. It wasn't at all.
Damn, Gina, damn.
It really wasn't. Martin reference. But no, I saw, like I said, it happened with Jameis Winston. We know Cam, and some of these other young QBs or the mobile QBs. So it really wasn't just about Lamar. They have an issue with it with him too, but he's definitely not the only one.
All right, so folks, it's week 9 now. We're halfway through the season. Well, that's slightly more than halfway through the season, but it's an odd number of games. So I want your opinions on now that we've seen some stuff, and unfortunately we've had a lot of injuries to change a lot of these of what we're about to talk about. But who are the top teams right now? So as far as let's start with the NFC. Who would you guys say because I think it's very debatable too. Because I hear people say, you hear the TV people always say, "Oh, this is the best team in the NFC," or "This is the best team in the NFC." Blah 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 blah. Who do you guys think is the best team in the NFC right now? We start with you, Jay.
Not really. Okay. So can we have more than one?
No, just one.
What?
Go ahead, just say what you want to say.
I'm going to say, wow, that's good because there's like 3 teams in the NFC that can be.
All right, well, go ahead. Who are the 3? Who are the 3 that you're thinking?
I'm gonna go with. So there's 2 teams that's hot right now, and it's between the Cowboys or the Rams. So I'm gonna go with if they had to play each other, I think the Rams would win though.
Of course you would.
Nobody's hating on the Cowboys.
That was definitely hate. All right, skip y'all. Go ahead, Jerv. What you think is the top NFC in the playoff in the game right now?
Top NFC team?
NFC, yes.
I don't think there is one. There's no separation.
You don't think so? They're too close together for you to determine one?
I think all of the teams, the Saints, as a 53-man roster, has always been one of the best in football. So it's not like this is new territory. They should be in every game that they play. The Packers, they have a top 3 quarterback in the league. The Bucks, they have a top 3 team in the league. It's not like there's not separation. The Rams have one of the better rosters, and they just got a lot of quick twitch athletes. It's not separation. It's just any given Sunday. Y'all know everything will be all right. It's any given Sunday.
All right, Gina, what you think?
So I'm actually going to agree with Jaquan, and I'm going to say that it's the Rams right now. And the reason why I think that a distinction was made just this week with them getting Von Miller added to their already stout defense.
We're going to talk about trades later on.
That defense was already stout. They just added to it. Obviously, Matthew Stafford is doing this thing. They got Cooper Kupp. They got, all kinds of great offense. I feel like that alone, that addition to their defense, put them up a hedge above the Cowboys, a hedge above the Packers, a hedge above the Cardinals. So those are, for sure the top teams. But I'm going to have to give it to the Rams because I feel like defense, wins. And I felt like they just made their defense a little bit better.
Interesting.
When we get to these trades, we need to break these trades down a little bit.
Yeah, so we will. We definitely will.
I don't got nothing to say right now. Let's get to the trades.
All right. So my NFC team is definitely going to be obviously the Cowboys. Now, the AFC.
Man,
no explanation. No explanation.
Hey, Jaquan, this man E40 sprinkled that in there. You see him sprinkling, man.
I don't even need an explanation. So the AFC, I'll start with me this time.
But Dak is hurt. Dak is hurt. You don't think that's the issue? The defense, the Cowboys defense seemed to be falling off a little bit. And actually Trayvon Diggs got hurt in that game. So
I get it. And they still won with a backup quarterback. So it's still the Cowboys. For the AFC, this is a little tougher for me.
I agree. I think the AFC is tougher.
Because when you say best team, it doesn't have to necessarily mean the team with the best record.
All right.
So
can I just tell y'all who it is?
Sure, Jared. Go ahead. Who is it?
Simply nobody. Again, we have no distinction because they keep flip-flopping place because this is the year of parity. This is the year that there should be a team that should come out of nowhere and be in contention for the Super Bowl because these rosters are a lot more stacked and unique this year. There's been a lot more young talent. The influx of young talent in this NFL is different. The defenses are different. The offenses are a little bit more college oriented. So it's a lot more scoring. It's a lot more different things. The officiating, hell, we just talked about that. It's not going to be the same. So I don't think there's really a distinction of top tier teams. I think you have a list of teams, maybe 4 teams that should be in there and in that conversation. But after those 4 teams,
so give me your 4 teams. Then who are your 4 teams in the AFC?
The 4 teams in the AFC, 2 of them are in the same division. The four teams are you have the Chargers, and then of course you have the Chiefs.
Oh, Chiefs.
Hell no, not the Raiders. Lord have mercy. I don't trust their quarterback. And then, of course, you have the Titans and you have the Bills. No team in the AFC North has performed up to their potential this year, in my opinion. I'm not saying that the teams aren't good. I think it's the hardest division in football outside of the NFC West. I just think that it's such a tough division that they won't be able to distinguish who's the better team because they're going to beat up on each other every week. They're all evenly matched across the board. We just watched the Bengals beat the Steelers soundly. We watched them beat the Ravens soundly. We watched them beat these teams soundly. But then who says that the Bengals don't go and get beat soundly? Who says the Ravens that the Bengals this week don't play the Browns and get beat 45-17? Who says that doesn't happen? We don't know yet. It's so early in the season. And then injuries. We got to talk about the injury bug. We don't know what's going to happen because with Derrick Henry going down in the AFC, that does change things because that's one dude you didn't want to tackle. So now by default, now it's Nick Chubb as the horse in the AFC. So that changes the whole AFC again because arguably the best runner is now out of the AFC. It just changes so much. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
It's really strange to me how you seemingly do not even consider the Ravens as the top. And this is not this week. This is several weeks. So I'm just saying it's very conspicuous how you leave them out. But aside from that, Germ, I will say overall, it is very tough to say which team is on top. I agree with you that we kind of all hanging in here. We're all like sucker punching each other. You know, we get on the streak, win, then we fall off on a loss and to a team that you might not expect, and then you're back on top on your day off like the Ravens did. So I'm actually going to agree with you that as far as the AFC, is really hard. And I think probably maybe over this next quarter, over these next 4 games, you might see somebody pull ahead, Ravens. You might see somebody pull ahead, but I agree with you. At this particular moment, it is so close to call, and we really just need to see how some things shake out over these next 4 games with these teams. So I'm going to agree with you. But you hate on the Ravens, bro. Just admit you hate on the Ravens. But moving along, next.
This is the great value version of what the Ravens are.
I think
we don't do great value.
I think weeks 10 through 14 are going to be the ones that are going to determine anything. Like I just have that feeling in my gut that weeks 10 through 14
ain't that what I just said?
Are going to determine everything. And then those last 3 games are just going to be whatever. But third quarter, folks, third quarter. Now, my all famous gangster wankster. We want to know who's the gangsters and who's the wanksters out there. I got a few people in mind, and I do not come up with mine ahead of time, just so everybody knows. I actually wait till we do this segment before I determine who's my gangster and who's my wankster. But we'll start with Gina this time. Who's your gangster?
Okay, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and give it to the Jets. The Jets are my gangsters. I'm doing gangster and wankster at the same time.
Gangster.
Okay, so I'm going to give the gangster to the Jets, and this was really, I could have given it to the Jets or the Eagles. I was actually super happy for both teams, but I just love the way the Jets went in there and took the Bengals right on down. And I mean, not just from the fact that we benefited, but it's just the fact that the Jets did that, and they only had 1 win. And the Bengals were looking like bullies from the previous week, and it's like they got a black eye this week. So I got to give my gangster to the Jets.
All right, Jared, who you got?
My gangster this week is Dearness Johnson. Every time he on the field,
right,
he performs. So I don't know why he ain't on the field.
Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about him. Funny about that to the game. Go ahead, Jaquan, who you got?
My gangsters this week will be. I'll give it to the Steelers defense.
Okay, how modest of you. My gangster this week is Cooper Rush. That dude didn't even know he was going to play until literally 10 minutes before the game started. Mm-hmm. When he found out he was going to play, and he went out there and he didn't win the game. They won the game, but. He performed well enough for them to win the game. So
you just did the same thing Jaquan did, though.
Not really. Not really. The situation was totally different. This guy didn't even know he was going to play.
So right, but what about White that went out and got 405 yards and those touchdowns? Huh?
He knew he was going to play.
Okay.
All right, Weister. Who's the Weister? All right, Jay, we start with you.
Who?
Weister. Oh. Weister. I'm gonna give it to Baker Mayfield. Let me tell you why I'm giving it to Baker Mayfield.
Who?
Because when he got hit out of bounds, Baker Mayfield.
Oh.
When he got hit out of bounds, he did all this hyping and everything to get hyped up for Jarvis Landry to fumble the next play.
Well, that's not his fault. It's Jarvis Landry fumbled.
I'm blaming the whole everybody on it. It's Baker Mayfield. But calm down, sir. You ain't. So
why you just make Jarvis Landry your Weister?
Because I don't like Baker Mayfield anyway. So he's gonna be my Weister.
All right, Jared, who's your Weister?
He took my game, my Weister. But you know who my Weister was gonna be?
Who?
I was gonna do like Raven fans, and I was gonna say something that didn't make sense. I was gonna be like, yeah, I'm that type of energy today, baby. Yeah. But I was gonna say, and I'm not even really talking about y'all. I'm talking about the other delusional fans, because at least y'all are nice people that make sense. At least y'all will argue something. They just say stuff that you be like, you really thought to type this on the internet. Never mind. But the thing is, I was going to say that Browns as a staff, record label, and crew, even after I gave Derna Johnson credit, because as a staff, record label, and crew, you are 4-4 in a division, and currently you just lost this game that you lost to the Steelers that you should have won. Number two, the games that you have lost because your quarterback has not completed the throws in the timely fashion. You got a quarterback that is so cocky and so full of himself that he is starting to be simply not what you thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the whole shebang right here is they're just not producing wins. It's just not producing into anything else other than a bunch of hoopla and a bunch of drama. And then his girlfriend get on Twitter and get to talking all that rah-rah and everything else. Fix his shoulder. If you can do anything for Baker, I don't need you to fix the critics. Fix his shoulder, because I don't want to hear no excuses. How about that? Now I'm the gangster of the week because I said that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Gina.
So honestly, my wankster is going to be Fangio, because Fangio is still complaining about the Ravens. Like, dude, this was a month ago now. A month and like everybody has moved on. And that dude in the last couple of weeks is still complaining about the Ravens. Dude, this is beyond sore loser. This is like your sore is infected and it needs to be cleaned out, debrided, something or other. Get all that stuff out of there so you can let it go. But dude in the last few weeks is still talking about that Ravens-Broncos game. And it's like, who's even thinking about that game anymore? Fangio. So he's my wankster.
My wankster is going to be the Jaguars organization, because I really don't feel like that they are giving that team, and specifically that quarterback, a chance to be successful. I just don't think they're putting the right stuff in place. I think they're making some bad coaching decisions. Not the coaches they hired, but the coaches themselves making decisions. And they're just not putting that young man in the right situation with the talent that he should have surrounding him, so he could do some things. And maybe next year we'll see that. Maybe they'll get some draft picks and pick some people up on free agency or whatever. But right now they're just not doing it. Fourth quarter, folks. Fourth quarter. Now, let's talk about them trades. So everybody knows, it's no secret, I'm a Ravens fan and a Cowboys fan. And my Ravens.
You said it in the right order today.
My Ravens have to see them ding dang Rams later on this season, and they added a pass rusher. But here's what I say about that: about them adding Gardner Miller, which I think for the Rams was a good trade. They got a good end of that deal, but although they gave up a second and third round pick, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. I really don't think it's going to make a difference. I don't think they're going to be better in the long run with having him there. It is a gut feeling. I'm not basing it on any stats. I'm not basing it on anything. It's just a gut feeling that I feel like it's just not going to make that big of a difference. And whoever else want to jump in can.
Why you feel that way?
It's just a gut. I just have a gut feeling that it's not going to make that big of a difference. One, I don't know how much Von Miller has in him. I mean, he's done something a little bit this year, but I just feel like it's not going to be that big of a deal. Let me put it that way. I'm not saying he's not going to execute at any time in any game. I'm just saying, in my gut feeling, I just feel like it's not that big of a deal.
Y'all ready?
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay, number one, Von Miller doesn't play the run. In the progressive weeks of the season, when the Rams have to play teams that are going to run the football, i.e. teams like, let's just say for hypothetical reasons, the Packers. The Packers have to run the ball to be successful. The Buccaneers have to run the ball to be successful. These are teams that if they blow them off the ball, and when I say blow them off the ball, I mean literally just run at Von Miller, that'll neutralize him naturally. He's not a guy who sets the edge better than a lot of these other pass rushers at this stage of his career. He's always been super athletic, and he's one of the best in the game we've probably ever seen at converting speed to power. The issue is he's no longer doing that. He's getting quick twitch pressure, just like Aaron Donald. The problem now becomes when you want to cause confusion for this Rams defense, the things that you have to do is you have to be physical. If you look at the Rams when they lose or when they're in competitive games, the other team out physicals them because they're small and they're fast. This Rams defense is built like the Colts defense of 2000s. They're going to be extremely athletic and fast, but if you run right at them and punch them in the mouth for 60 minutes, you're going to be able to get the traction. They're going to get pressure. They're going to get sacks. But this team is built a lot like that like that Colts team. The difference is Matthew Stafford's not Peyton Manning, and obviously we don't have Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison. We got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and them. There's a distinct difference, though, with the way that you're going to have to play the run, though. You're going to have to blitz to stop the run. You're going to have to maintain gap integrity. But most importantly, you're going to have to make the tackles. And with elite runners like Aaron Jones is elite at running this rock. It's going to change a lot because when they put Big 28 Dylan in there, let Von Miller jump on his back. He going to go 20 yards with him. Mm-hmm. It's going to change. The Rams are that team that this move says, I'm desperate for making something happen this year because you know that your window is closing. That's what this is. You start with the desperation for Stafford. Now you come back and you get Von. You're giving away all your draft capital every year to get all of these agent players. And then you keep showing me how desperate you are. You're not getting anywhere. I'm telling y'all today, the Rams will not be in the Super Bowl. If the Rams get to the Super Bowl, I will donate to whatever charity, $100 to whatever charity y'all decide, even if it's somebody's pocket. They will not make the Super Bowl because they are not physical enough at the point of attack on either side of the ball. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I mean, what he says sound good and everything, but I still need to see it. I feel like teams already game plan around Aaron Donald. That dude gets double teamed and triple teamed, which means somebody is going to be running open free. And at this point, that could be Von Miller. I still think he's a factor. He is not the Von Miller that he was maybe 5-7 years ago or whatever, but I still think sometimes when you put another player in the presence of another player, then they really, really get to do something. Sometimes it takes that combo, and he didn't really have that with Denver. I think in the presence of Aaron Donald and the other defensive players that they have on that team, that this is all going to help Vaughn. So it could go either way. It could go the way that you're saying, Germ, or we could see Von Miller running all around there because everybody is still trying to concentrate on Aaron Donald. Or, okay, well, we got to pay attention to Aaron Donald and Von Miller now. Like, the fact that his presence is there is going to change something up as far as the way people game plan and scheme. Just the fact that he's there. So whether he does everything 100%, that may not happen. But his mere presence, to me, will make they're going to game plan and include, well, we know Von Miller is out there now. So I do think that can be effective. And a lot of times, like we talked about, I think it was the Steelers, they were saying about Bud Dupree, once TJ Watt came, then Bud Dupree was able to, because they were after TJ Watt. So I'm still not going to rule that out, that was not a smart move on that part, and that it could be very effective. Whether it's going to take them to the Super Bowl, I can't say that, but teams are going to be planning for, now, what are we going to do with Aaron Donald and Von Miller? So that's still how I see that.
Well, and this is just my opinion, but I remember a couple years ago, the Rams played the AFC North, and Aaron Donald had no effect whatsoever on the AFC North. And I've seen him be just basically taken out of games. Like he caused. I don't want to say taken out of a game, but I've seen him be
neutralized
and nullified in games where he had no effect on the game. Now it may have had effect
with certain teams. See. That's not every team. That's certain teams.
Right. But it may have had effect that we couldn't visibly see, like because they're double teaming him, something may have happened over here. We just didn't put it all together. But I do also recall them having another pass rusher before, whose name I cannot come up with.
Leonard Floyd.
He was one of them, but there was another one too.
Deontay
Fowler. It still didn't make anything different with their defense.
Remember, Leonard Floyd and Deontay Fowler got switched. Deontay Fowler currently plays for the Falcons, and Leonard Floyd currently plays for the Rams.
Right.
We also have Troy Reader, who last year had 4 or 5 sacks in a game. I know the whole team. They're not good, y'all. They're not good. Like they're literally Jalen, and they're literally Aaron Donald. When Aaron Donald left in that Packers game, it changed everything. It became the Jalen Ramsey and them. He was Michael Jackson. They was Tito. Their asses belonged to him. That was it. It is literally that bad. We got to do something. Like, I love Von Miller as a player, but pressure is part of the game, and you're going to get pressure in situations. The key is, how do you nullify pressure? Number one, you run the football, but the other thing that you do, screens, draws. It's so many ways to nullify it. And if you don't have to chip Von Miller at this stage in his career. He's not a guy that I got to send a guy to chip every time. He's not TJ Watt. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not any of these guys. He's still a great pass rusher. But the problem is, at this stage, the Rams have other things that they need to focus on. And the other things is building more solid guys, putting more solid guys in the middle of that defense. Because if you don't have no hitters, guess what you're going to eventually have to do? You're going to have to tackle somebody. You're going to have to. In order to get to the big game in February, if Big Leonard Fournette, if you play Brady and them, and Big Leonard Fournette get going, you mean to tell me Aaron Donald going to stop Leonard Fournette, man? No, he's not.
I don't think Aaron Donald is that great against the run anyway, period.
He's never been great against the run. He's never been great. He's 6 foot, 280 pounds. If you put 300-pound men on him, 2 guards with a wham block or a nice tight end wham block on him, you're going to be able to affect him. Again, we got the Gronkowski effect and the O.J. Howard effect for the Bucs. You got the fact that Green Bay still hasn't had their best lineman play all season. What happens when Bakatari comes back? Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to start talking about the real thing. The Rams are a very sexy pick. That the Rams are the nice looking girl. They got all of the good stuff, apple bottom jean boots with the fur and everything else. You walk up, but at the end of the day, they're just not that wholesome woman that cook you a meal, rub your back, and make you feel good all night. That's all it is. You know, the Rams are the pillow princess that look good on your shoulder.
All right, now does anybody have anything to add about Melvin Ingram going to the Chiefs? Because I don't see that making any difference at all.
Bye.
Hey, quick question. Y'all remember that song when Gerald Levert took that song from the one dude? He was like, "I'm searching for someone who could turn my life around."
Yeah,
that's what I thought about when I seen that, because this is stupid. How many teams is he gonna play for in one season? The Chiefs just picking up people off the street at this day. Anybody, hey, they might as well just have a tree out.
What you think about that, Jay?
I mean, like
he didn't care. Melvin Ingram didn't do anything with them.
He wasn't. Which I kind of knew he wasn't gonna get no playing time anyways. Oh,
they got too many young defenders. They got too many young defenders that are growing in the system that the Pittsburgh and in that defense. You mean to tell me you'd rather have him than Alex Highsmith playing right now? You need Alex Highsmith to play right now. That's the whole reason why you drafted him, right? To be the insurance policy if Bud Dupree left. The veteran guys you pick up. I mean, Gina, look at what Justin Houston is doing right now for the Ravens. Barely anything. The player who's making the plays is your rookie. By the way, I scouted him. I told y'all he was the truth. Y'all told me I was lying, and it was Ravens fans who said
nobody tell you he was lying about.
No. No. It was. Slow down. Don't do that.
What?
Don't put that. Oh, don't put that. No, but seriously, all jokes aside, Gina, I had Ravens fans tell me that he was an average player, and then as soon as he got drafted to the Ravens, he became a good player. Don't play with me.
What Ravens fans are you talking to, bro?
He's talking about the ones that don't actually watch football.
Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Patterson. Because Gina acting like she don't got them part of it. I need you to
qualify the Ravens fans. You talking about them, bro?
Yeah, I'm talking about them C-level fans, the ones that don't deserve any of my time and my acknowledgement. They don't get it anymore either.
All right, folks, time for the blitz kick. So. We skipped last week because we didn't have a show. Week before that, Jaquan picked the Packers. They won. Regina picked the Rams. They won. I picked the Cardinals. Of course, they lost. No, they did win week before last. They lost this week. And our guest, who had to be Germ, picked the Bengals.
Yeah, of course.
And they won.
What they do? What did they do again?
They beat the Ravens.
Oh man, they didn't. No. They didn't beat them.
They
spanking that ass.
But let's see what happens in the next game, though. That's all it is.
Rocker pad. Y'all like David Chappelle? Rocker pads, all in that ass.
Damn. So I guess since Germ is the guest, we'll start with him. Your guesses so far have been the Jets and the Bengals, so you cannot choose either of them for this week.
Come on, let's go.
So, who you got this week?
Check it out.
Wait a minute. The guest should have about 3 picks or something by now.
No, it's only 2.
No, not 2. Him. Was there another guest?
We haven't had it yet.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so Jets and Bengals were your 2 picks. So who are you picking this week?
Let me look at the game.
We got the Jets playing the Colts on Thursday Night Football. We got the Patriots playing the Panthers. We got the Bills playing the Jaguars. We have the Falcons at the Saints, Raiders at the Giants, Vikings at the Ravens, Browns at the Bengals.
Give me the Bills.
Bills at the Jaguars, all right.
Well, that was an easy one.
I mean,
John, you make me sick. You make me sick.
Hey, you know what's funny? Y'all did this last week. I just straight went for disrespect when I picked the Bengals over the Ravens because that's just the type of guy I am. And then I wreck everyone and then I leave, literally like my shirt say. And they wrecked them. Hey, y'all like E40 violated on their own soil. Ooh.
I told you he's a Ravens hater.
I'm on paper, I'm right behind him, so I'll go next. I'm going to go with.
And I took the easy one because y'all was about to try to take the easy way out. Y'all some cheaters.
I tie.
Y'all be like.
Wait a minute. Who have you picked so far, William?
So far,
Bobby?
I picked the Titans, the Patriots, and the Raiders.
Okay.
Man.
Uh-huh.
He took the easiest one for sure.
I sure did. Should have never let me go first.
Wow.
Too short.
We covered up.
I'm
going to go with I'm going to go with the shoot.
Any day now.
I know, right?
I mean, you got so much faith in your Cowboys. Who they playing this week?
No, I got Fader for later this season.
Oh man,
I'll take the Steelers over the Bears.
Oh no! Oh, he took the Steelers. Oh, yeah. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
All right, Gina, you're next on the list. You picked the Saints, the Chargers, the Colts, and the Rams so far.
The Saints, the Colts, the Chargers, and the Rams. I am going to say I want to get into something good. I'm thinking
these
about
games,
this.
All of these games are
Chiefs
iffy this week.
Have I picked the Cardinals?
No.
You know what? I have not picked the Patriots.
No, you picked the Rams, Colts, Chargers, and Saints.
I'm feeling dangerous right now.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go for a not so obvious one, kind of, sorta. I think I'm going to take the Patriots over the Panthers.
Is that really dangerous though?
I think it is. I think it's dangerous. That game can go either way for real, for real.
It's dangerous based on what? Because which quarterback is better?
Dude,
okay.
that game can go either way, Germ. Come on now.
If you believe
and the
Panthers
have
are
actually
good
been playing, the Panthers have actually been playing without CMC.
If you believe that the Panthers are worthy of this matchup, then I will let you believe that, Gina.
All right, Jaquan.
My dear Gina.
So far, you picked the Packers, Rams, Cowboys, and Chiefs. Who's your pick this week?
He was going to pick the Steelers today. You got him.
He wasn't going to pick the Steelers because
he was definitely picking the Steelers.
Hey, he definitely wasn't going to pick them with Khalil Mack coming to town. I wouldn't pick the Steelers neither.
Khalil Mack is out.
Are we sure he's going to be out by Monday?
He's supposed to be going IR.
Supposed to be. I don't know. That was in the Steelers paper, the Pittsburgh Gazette. I don't know if I trust it.
Give me the Rams over the Titans.
Oh, the Rams.
What?
I already picked the Rams.
Yeah.
You
picked the
I shook the whole room.
You picked the
Give me the Bengals over the Browns.
Okay. That's definitely not a feeling.
Yo, Jaquan. That's one of the games you stay away from. Them folks is going to end up in a tie.
Don't be scared. Them
folks going to end up in a tie. They're going to end up in 21-21.
Don't be scared.
Both quarterbacks going to throw 3 interceptions that don't make sense.
That's going to be a good game. That is most definitely going to be a good game. It's a lot of good games this week.
You want to know something funny? Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you this question. This question is strictly for you, Gina. If the Titans beat the Rams this week with no Derrick Henry and with Von Miller playing, does that prove my point, or does that just say, are we just gonna say that's 1 week?
I didn't disagree with what you said.
No. It's not. That's not about that. But I'm saying, what does that do? Does that validate the point of a physical team being the kryptonite of the team, or do you feel like that's maybe just 1 week?
I don't feel like it needs to be validated. I feel like what you said was valid. And I'm just saying, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm just saying we will see. I still think that dude, because he's there, his very presence, that they're going to have to figure out, teams going to have to game plan for him. That's all I said. I
think the first couple of games, they will game plan for him. but once everybody sees that he's sort of not that effective there, I'm not saying he's not going to do anything, but I don't think he's going to be what. Well, actually, the coach didn't even know that. He was shocked when he found out they picked him up. So apparently, he wasn't even in the loop.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
The people upstairs did that. He
Who's
didn't know
that
anything
GM
about
over
it.
there? Who's the GM on the Rams?
I don't even know who the GM for the Rams is.
I gotta look that up because that's wild.
Yeah, he was like, what? Let's see what we can do with this. I don't think it's going to amount to anything. But folks, another good show.
Gone.
Another good show.
Oh, you gonna be simply gone after this season?
I'm Bobby, obviously of the No Pro Football Show. You can catch me on Twitter at NP Football Show. Go ahead, Gina.
I did want to bring up a couple things. We didn't do my fourth quarter, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Of current events. Sadly though, but just because it just happened this week, I do think it's worth mentioning. The Ravens' Malik Harrison was shot by a stray bullet in his leg. I actually haven't heard anything specific. I think, he's okay. It's nothing life-threatening. But in terms of his recovery and coming back, and that's the crazy thing, the dude had just gotten off IR, was about to get off IR. And so now he's going to be back on IR, I'm assuming, for a non-football related injury. But speedy recovery there. And then the situation that's the most sad was that Henry Ruggs from the Raiders was involved in a motor vehicle accident. According to the reports, he was speeding in a Corvette and wind up slamming into another car with a young lady in it, and she died. That is so extraordinarily sad.
The
so
car
extraordinarily
caught on fire.
sad. Yeah, the car caught on fire, and they were not able to save her. They tried, but she was pronounced deceased on the scene. And so those of you who pray, definitely that situation requires prayer for her entire family. And everyone that's affected by this situation. Henry Ruggs' girlfriend was in the car. She sustained some injuries. And so just everything, but especially the family of the young lady who lost her life. This is so very sad. And in the report, it said that allegedly he was inebriated in some way or under the influence. So that's what it said in what I read. I don't know if that's truly been substantiated, but very, very sad situation. And so just definitely, I'm like the Raiders, like, I know they have to be thinking like, what can happen next? So, and he's a very key piece of their offense. But aside from football, more importantly, we're talking about somebody's life. So just wanted to mention that, but it's extraordinarily sad. And our deepest condolences to everyone involved, but particularly the family of the young lady.
Oh, here's my thing. You are a player in the NFL. I know he hasn't gotten his he's still in his rookie contract, but he's still making mid to high six figures, and there is no reason for you to be drinking and driving or whatever the influence is in driving. There's so many car services out here nowadays that you can use, and a lot of the NFL teams actually provide car services for their players to use in those situations. It's really sad that somebody lost their life and another life is ruined for one bad decision. One bad decision in the blink of an eye has turned so many lives upside down. Especially for the young lady that was lost, her family, friends, loved ones. For him making that mistake, and now his career is over, and we don't know how many people depended on him. Maybe children or whatever the case may have been. It's really a sad situation just because of one bad decision. One bad decision. These guys, they got to wake up. They got to understand that you cannot go out here and just do reckless things. You can. I mean, that applies to anybody.
Right,
But
everybody.
if you're a high profile person, it's even worse. And then the second part to that is because you're a high profile black athlete, they're going to throw everything at you to make an example. Everything. His career is over. His is over. And worse than that, somebody lost a child, a sister, a cousin, aunt, or whatever, over something senseless and stupid.
Look, at the end of the day, NFL players, I understand that when you get opportunities and more money, more problems, I understand all that stuff. I get it. Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand, where does accountability and responsibility meet on an intersection? Because being responsible doesn't mean taking care of people. It means taking care of your business. Take care of your business at the beginning so you don't got to do it later. That's what we say. So at the beginning, you knew you was going out to have fun, to drink, to go and kick it. Y'all got security guards, y'all got bodyguards, y'all got all these different things that y'all do. Y'all got chefs, y'all got everything that y'all could possibly ask for. But yet you feel like it's necessary for you to want to drive around and not just drive around, speed around in $100,000, $200,000 cars, $50,000 cars, whatever, and do it on non-sound judgment, aka drinking and driving. We gotta at some point say, and we gotta ask ourselves, when a player and something like this happens, we understand players have situations because players are people. But when do the players have to say to themselves, we have to be more accountable for our actions? I don't want his career to be over for a bad decision, but in the reference of a civilian, their life would be over because of a bad decision. Their life would not only be over. We were talking about something serious. We're talking about vehicular homicide here, with mixed in with a DUI. When do we say as a society that we need to do better? This is for all athletes. Stay y'all asses out these cars if y'all gonna go out and have fun. Y'all got all these resources available to you that regular people don't, and y'all take advantage of it and y'all don't use them. And it makes no sense. And at the end of the day, y'all look foolish. And not only do y'all look foolish, y'all look even more foolish because y'all do these things and it looks careless. And it really makes a lot of things look bad on people who are in these highly prioritized lifestyles. Let's do better. That's all I have to say. I don't want to down him. I don't want to say he's stupid. I don't want to say anything. We got to make better decisions, man.
Yep. Everybody needs to make there is no reason to drink and drive, period. Whether you're an athlete or anybody, there is no reason to drink and drive nowadays, just none whatsoever. And those who are with people who do that, don't let them drive. Take their keys, be a friend, be a family member. Like, there is no reason nowadays for this to be happening at all. So, but we were about to end this session. We have done another No Pro Football Show / She Talks Football crossover. And we want to thank so much our guest, Jay.
Hi, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at jquan625.
And then Germ.
Germ so true. Scene representative, obviously. Scene_the on Twitter. The.scene on Instagram. The Scene on YouTube as well. Make sure you guys are following, subscribed, all that good stuff. SCEN, all capital letters on Facebook as well. Y'all be tuned. We're gonna be dropping some more stuff. As you see, one of our first lucky winners, we got Jaquan won a trip to Vegas. He got 18 months. He got 18 months to figure out when he want to go and everything. And he gonna take some pictures for us and do some promo stuff for us. So anybody out there hating, saying that we was giving away fake trips, guess what? We got somebody who gonna show y'all that the trip real. Look, it's all going down the scene. We changing the game one play at a time, and this is the first play of many plays. Make sure y'all paying attention. And yes, I said plays because every sport has plays, and we're just running the right ones. Shouts out to the No Pro Football Show. Hey man, I love being on this show. It's always good to talk to nice people who love the game. Of course, She Talk Football. It's my first time collaborating with Shorty on the She Talk Football Show. Okay, then, girl, let's do it again. But we're gonna bring y'all on. Sure. Make sure you guys let me know when y'all are available. I'll bring you on Views and Dues on the Sunday morning. We could talk some football. You could be on a live pregame show or what on the scene. Of course, collaboration is key, and we appreciate all collaborations.
Love it, love it, love it. So I'm Gina from She Talks Football. I am on the Undroppables platform, so you can find my podcast on the Undroppables. Make sure you are following the Undroppables on Twitter and also on YouTube where the videos are uploaded. And then you can also find my podcast on my own She Talks Football YouTube page, as well as the audio versions on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, and many others. And guys, definitely go and check out. Just did a great Ravens bye-week special with Ing Ravens Vids. I know everybody knows Ing Raven Vids. And also 410 Sports Talk just did a special bye-week episode with them that's already uploaded. So definitely go and check that out. No Pro Football Show.
All right, folks. Thank you, Bobby. No Pro Football Show. You can hit me on Twitter at NP Football Show. And please go to YouTube, watch the No Pro Football Show, subscribe, ask me any questions, any comments you want to make. Man. They may even show up on the show. You never know. Thank you for joining us on the best football show you know, and good night.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.